It's sweaty armpit weather. Behind Missouri Makes. You can find me on Ravelry as Missouri Makes, as well as Missouri_Makes on Instagram. You can find my yarn shop at MissouriMakes.BigCartel.com. I think that covers all of it. Can we discuss for just like half a minute the mood swings that nature's having right now? Last Tuesday, today is Tuesday, just so you know. I'm recording on Tuesday, or is it Wednesday? I'm getting my days mixed up. Today's Wednesday. Okay, so Tuesday of last week, we had rain, sleet, snow. Today, it's sweaty armpit season. Like, my dog. Anytime a car pulls up, she goes nuts with all the other dogs. But yes, it's sweaty armpit weather. Why? You know, just pick one. I can deal with heat. I don't like it at all, but I will deal with it. And I can deal with snow. My husband hates it, but, you know, I don't mind it, but I don't get out of the house very much. He gets out of the house. He goes to work every day, so, you know, I understand why he dislikes it. I can deal with either one. But having sleet and snow one day and then 80-degree weather the next, it's kind of frustrating. But anywho, I guess we can go ahead and get into something that's more interesting than my sweaty armpits. I mean, I don't see you wanting to talk about them very, very long. But anyways, I figured we would go over the yarn bingo. Now, I told you in, I want to say it was last week's episode, maybe the week before. I can't remember. I told you sometime in April that I was going to do the April yarn bingo. Now this is a template. Is that what you call it? You can find this in a Facebook group, and I will do my best to link it down below or in the show notes on my Ravelry group where I get this. And I haven't gotten next month's yet. When I get done with this video, I will go and check to see if they've got it pulled up yet. But I did print out April's, and I barely got a bingo. But we'll just go over the ones that, that I did. And I'll start up here at the top, and it says finish a whip. I'm going to count that one as one of the hats that I made for Chad. I don't have them on hand anymore because I gave those to him a couple days after I showed y'all last. So, those are gone. I didn't even manage to get pictures. But I made those, and I counted finish a whip and make a hat because I made 2 hats in the month of April. Next one, this purple one here, says blanket in progress, and that is this blanket here for Jaden. I've got it started because I finished Connor's blanket a few days ago. I think it was Saturday. Today's Wednesday, April 28th. I looked at my phone because I don't remember. But kind of reminds me of Pokemon. Does it remind you of Pokemon? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, I've got Mainstay yarn. This color is just called Red. I've got Red Heart Super Saver. This one's called Cherry Red. And you can't hardly tell on camera the difference, but there is, this one's slightly darker. So, and then I've just got black and gray to go with them. Oops. Sorry about the shaky camera. It rolled. And I'm using the same hook with it as I used for the other two. The pattern that I'm using is just alternating half double crochets, single crochets back and forth. And then the next row, what I'll do is I'll put a half double crochet in the single crochet and single crochet in the half double. So it gives it a little bit of a texture. Let me show you. Just slight texture. Nothing too extravagant. What? I mean, nobody drives down my street and not gets busy the second I turn on camera. Okay, one on the next one is save your yarn wrappers from your projects and let's see how much yarn you went through in the month of April. And then in parentheses, whatever it says year, but we'll do April. And what I don't have much. I would have had more, but would you believe me if I told you my dog ate them? She did. She got a hold of my yarn. Aggravated me so much because I found yarn scattered everywhere. But I had 3 things of yarn that she got into, 2 of them being what I used in the month of April, and she just shredded those wrappers. And so I don't have as much wrappers as I would, but I've got another one over here. Hold on. Oops. Just enjoy my yarn while I get the other wrapper. Okay. Let's put you back. There we go. You like my pretty yarn wall? I got it. It's not set up. I still have a whole bucket here full of yarn that I've got to cake up. I don't want to put half skeins and stuff that are kind of wonky on there. I'm going to cake them up. And then I've got another bucket and a half over there that I've got to sort through and figure out. So I'm not even done. I'm hoping that I have enough room to put all of it on there. Especially after I got yarn to dye. It's up here on this top shelf here. But I got... We'll go over that in a minute, because that's a whole nother topic. But I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus what my dog ate. Let's see, she ate 2 or 3. So 8 to 9 skeins of yarn in the month of April. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. Maybe it'll be better next month. Alright, so the next one is Finish a Whip. And I am going to do, I did this one here. This is Connor's blanket. Now, it's ginormous. I'll show you half, it folded in half here. This is a pattern from Jaden Stitches. I can't remember the name of it, but it will be linked in show notes on Ravelry. Anything I talk about will be linked in show notes in Ravelry. I try to always do that. And if I forget something, you can always message me on here or email me or whatever and say, hey, you missed something. And I'll do my best to fix it. But this is, I just followed a video tutorial from Jaden Stitches, and I don't know what she suggests on sizing, how many rows to do, because it didn't finish the video. I just watched it enough to get the hang of it and then went on about my business. But I did this dark color here. I did 5 rows of each color. I don't know how many I did in this starting, but after that, these here, these points, I did 5 rows each. And then every other color here, the white, the light blue, and the gray, I did 3 rows each. So because this dark color here, I had more of it than the rest of it, so I did those bigger. And from point to point, this measures 57 inches. I sure hope this fits the kid. It's really pretty. I like it. I'm liking the way it turned out. Okay. Next one is a free space. And so we don't have to count that one as far as I know. And then create something for the den, living room, or office. I don't have those with me, but I showed you in the last video I created the coasters for my living room because I got a new coffee table. Finish a whip. Ooh, I forgot it. Let me go get it. Alright, so I finished this. I showed it to you in the last video. Look at that color change in there. Isn't that pretty? This is just a mixture of stitches. Every time I changed yarn, the hanks of yarn, I changed the stitch. I haven't hidden my ends in yet, so don't judge me. But it's freshly blocked. I think it covers well. I don't know what my arm span is, but it's as long, yeah. Perfect measurements, right? But I had a total of 3 hanks that I had dyed to do this. I used 2. And then I had the 4th one here. I used the same dyes, I just didn't use the same technique. So it all kind of goes in together. But I ended up stopping after 2. So I have these 2 left. I think I'm going to make a hat with it. This is my hand-dyed yarn. These are not in the shop. These are ones that I kept for myself. So you can't get these. But I do have others in there that you will probably like. Let's see. Make a wearable item. That one's off in another room as well. I'll go get that here in just a little bit. I found a picture on Instagram of this. I don't know. I assume that she used it as a beach cover-up, like a bathing suit cover-up. But I figured I would use it for a nightie or whatever because I don't wear bathing suits. I don't go swimming. I don't do any of that. I just don't. So, but I loved the cover-up. It's pretty. And so I decided I was going to recreate it. And the yarn that I'm using for it, hold on, is this Kaboo in colorway Steel Blue. It's a lightweight number 3 yarn. There's 232 yards per cake. It's 51 cotton, 49 rayon, which rayon is from bamboo. I had 3 of these, and I'm on the 2nd one right now. And I have managed to get probably just right above my natural waistline. It's about time to increase because Marissa has wide hips. So I'm going to have to increase and everything. But yeah, I am doing that, and I'll go get that here in a little bit if I remember to. Either use a mandala, a roll, or self-made mixed ball of yarn and create something and let the colors fall where they may. Alright, so what I decided to do, all of my stuff is down here, sorry. I'm going to put this over there. What I decided to do, this is the way it is. See that? And I'll probably have this done before next episode. But, come on. But you can tell this side here is increased. And this side here is decreased. And it's kind of going at an angle. And the pattern that I'm using my new yarn bowl that I got at Knit Picks. I got that in a set, and I'll tell you about that here in just a minute. But the pattern that I'm using is Just Feel Festive Shawl by Kalisha Ryan. Trying not to show any of the pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me check. Yeah, she uses 24 20-gram fingering weight mini skeins. And she, if I'm not mistaken, holds them double. Yeah, doubled. And so that it becomes a DK weight. And she uses a 5mm crochet hook. I'm using a 4.5. No other reason, but that's what I had laying around. So I'm using a 4.5, and I'm using a cupcake, Lion Brand cupcake. This is called Happy Dance. There's 590 yards, 100% acrylic. It's a number 3 weight. And you can see the colors here. I've gone about halfway through it. I'm in the green right now. It's coming out. And then I've got blue, white, gray, and yellow. I've got 2 of these, and I figure I'll use both of them to do it. But you can see here. Isn't she so pretty? She's got a podcast as well that I'll link in the show notes. But yeah, it's a really pretty shawl. It's simple, something that you can take on the go or, you know, sit on the couch and watch TV. So that's what I'm doing with that. I tried using that yarn for several different things, and I never could get it to look right. The colors, while they are pretty, it has to be a special project or it just looks funky. And so I tried it on this, and this, I think it's turning out just fine. I think it'll be pretty. Okay, so on to stuff that I got. Is it called acquisitions? Is that what they call it? I don't know. It's just crap that I bought. That is all I've got for crochet and knitting related stuff. So if you want to see what I bought, you can stay. If not, I'll talk to you in the next episode. Because I know some people don't watch this part, and I'm guilty of it sometimes. It depends on what podcaster and everything, but I figured I'll go ahead and show you. This is just a regular Knit Crate bowl. It's from Knit Crate. It's a yarn bowl, and it's got the swirl here that you can feed your yarn through. And I'm assuming that these are decorations, but I would use it like if I had several minis or scraps of yarn or whatever. I would put them in here and feed them through there so they didn't get tangled. I would hope they didn't get tangled. But I ordered this from Knit Picks along with, it was a bundle. I bought this with a cake winder because I figured it would be a good thing to have a cake winder to wind the yarn I dyed, any other yarn, to have that option if you would like me to wind the yarn up, because not everybody has a Swift to put the yarn on. And if you don't have a Swift, you have to put it on the back of your chair, stuff like that. Sometimes it can be a hassle. So I figured I'd give the option in the shop with my yarn if you wanted to have me wind it in a cake. And so this, the cake winder, a yarn Swift, and this, which is just a digital weigher, digital scale. It all came as one. I think I paid like $85 for all 4 pieces. And to me, that's cheap. Granted, this is not the best quality scale, but it's going to do the job. It does everything just fine. But this is a really nice quality. It's not rough. It's really smooth on the inside and outside. I love the color of this. And then the cake winder is just a cake winder. I mean, it's not anything special. It's not anything, it's a decent cake winder. It does the job just fine. I like it. And then the yarn Swift. I love the yarn Swift. I have always wanted a yarn Swift and never would pay the price because yarn Swifts get expensive. And so whenever I found the bundle on Knitpicks, I snatched it up because $85 for 4 pieces is cheap compared to some yarn Swifts you pay $100 or more for, depending on what company you go through, just for the yarn Swift. So I went ahead and bought that bundle, and I'll try to link that in the show notes as well. But along with that, I bought yarn, and it's up here to I bought yarn up there. Let me try to rephrase my words. I bought yarn from Knitpicks. I put it up there. Make more sense? Because I was confusing myself. But I went ahead and bought more of my Stark base, which is this. My Stark base is 100% non-superwash Peruvian Highland wool. There's 274 yards per hank. I think I said 264 last episode, but it's 274. And it is a sport weight. And I bought a couple things of it to dye on because I had my yarn featured on a podcast, The Crazy Sock Lady. If you haven't seen her, I recommend going and checking her out because she does really good content. I like watching her podcast and her tutorials and stuff. But I sent her some of my yarn and she put it on her podcast. And whenever I sent it, I went ahead and ordered more because I figured that more people would want to buy this colorway. I dyed this colorway specifically for the Crazy Sock Lady. This is the colorway Mystique. And if you can tell, we've got purples that transition into this aqua blue down here. I'd call it an aqua blue. It's really pretty. The camera doesn't do it justice. But I was curious as to what it looked like caked up because once I got my, is it ball winder? Cake winder? I call it a cake winder. It may be a ball winder. But when I got it, I wanted to cake everything up. And so I went ahead and caked one up because I wanted to see what it looked like. Ain't that pretty? I know it's not showing up on there very well, but we've got dark shades of purple with the aqua blue and all that. I can't wait to do something up with it. I'm thinking a hat. Honestly. I figured out a pattern that I really like. It's my go-to hat pattern. It's just a basic beginner beanie, and I think I'm going to make me a hat in that and see what it looks like. But yeah, I went ahead and bought a couple batches of that so that I'd be prepared whenever people buy. And then I got 2 new bases up here, and one is 80 wool merino, I would think, and 20 angora, and then one is 100% superwash wool because I wanted to play with superwash. And then I got 50-gram hanks of 80/20 wool and angora to try that because I've never messed with angora yarn. Never touched it, I don't think. If I have, I've never actually bought any. I've only seen it in local yarn stores. So I went ahead and bought some of that, and I'm going to test that out. And if it works out just fine, then I will add that base into the shop for y'all so that y'all can have it. But I'm looking around trying to figure out if there's anything else that I need to talk about. I don't think there is. He thought it would be funny to put on the channel. But then again, he thought it would be funny if I recorded myself while I built my shelves. Because he thought it was hilarious that I had to call him and ask him how to use his drill. I'd never used a drill before. I used screwdrivers, not a drill. Never even owned one. But I mean, I lived with my mom for just over 23 years of my life. I turned 23 in November, got married in December. So just over 23 years of my life. In those 23 years, I remember her being married once. I was little. Didn't last long. We didn't really have a man in the house to have all those tools. I mean, we had the basics, screwdrivers. Lucky to have a wrench, you know? I never touched a drill before. Crap. Whenever I lived in town. I lived in Arkansas, in town, where you have central heat and air, or you have window air conditioners. And I move up here, and we have wood heat. We used wood heat through the winter, as well as the gas stoves. I've used the gas stoves before. Never lived in a house with wood heat. Middle of winter. It sounds like somebody is weed eating. And I'm sitting here racking my brain. Why on earth is someone weed eating in the middle of winter? I say something to my husband and he cracks up laughing. And I'm like, what's so funny? I might have never heard a chainsaw before. Just saying. If I have, it's not been very often or enough for me to be able to recognize the sound. Because I thought somebody was weed eating. Which it was my husband's cousin that lives down the hill from us. As far as I know, it was him. May have not been. But that's the only neighbors we really got real close by besides my husband's sister. My sister-in-law. Which she's not going to cut wood. So. But yeah. He thought it was hilarious. But yeah. That's me. I am new to all this. There's a lot of things with getting married, with moving away from home. I'm about an hour away from home. Not that far, but still, I'm about an hour away. Moving out of home, getting married, all of this, there's a lot of things that I'm learning. Then I guess I'll share it on here so that y'all can laugh at me too. Because God knows my husband doesn't laugh at me enough. No. He's a good husband. He loves me. He's a pain in my butt sometimes, but He loves me, and he takes good care of me. Although, I'm surprised that people don't think he's abusive. Because he's one that yells a lot. He just does. Don't ask me why. He tells me it's because it just relieves... I don't know what it relieves. It just relieves stress or something. He likes yelling. Whenever we're in an argument, he doesn't yell at me. He's as calm as a cucumber. Whenever he's messing around and playing and joking, he yells. And so, we'll be in the car, headed to the store or something in Poplar Bluff, and we'll be stopped at a stoplight, and you know, he's running his mouth, and of course I'm going to get lippy back. I mean, why wouldn't I? If he's going to yell and carry on, I'm going to go on with him. And there ain't no telling what people think when we stop at a stoplight and we're hands flailing and yelling. You know, there ain't no telling what they think looking into our car. And we'll be in the middle of a store, and he'll be running his mouth, and I'll get lippy right back. I mean, that's just me. I'm sassy. I know it. And he'll be like, now, I'm going to give you a fat lip. I'm going to black your eye. And I'll look at him and be like, it's too close to Sunday. You can't do that. But yeah. He jokes and kids like that all the time. I'm surprised some people haven't actually taken him seriously. But he's a mess. I'll have to tell you the Walmart story sometime. The first time we ever went grocery shopping together as a married couple. That one was interesting. He cleared aisles. Yeah. But I married a keeper. Oh, I love him so much. He's a mess. But I guess that is all of the content that I have for this week's episode. Maybe next week's episode I'll have some finished objects and some more yarn to show you. I actually do have some more yarn to show you. I'm just waiting for it to dry because I dyed up some yesterday and it's hanging, waiting to dry, waiting and drying, and I'm hoping that it'll dry soon. I'll take pictures and put it on Instagram and show y'all. And then I dyed one today, and I'm waiting for it to cool down so that I can wash it. Excuse me. So, yesterday's I'm really, really liking. And today's, I won't know until it's dry. It may be an oopsie. And I may put it in the shop, or I may just work it up and make something with it. I don't know. But we'll see. But yeah. Just be on the lookout for some new yarn, because I've got a couple new bases that will most likely be in the shop here soon. And they're different weights. I've got a DK weight and a fingering weight. I think the Angora one is fingering, and the other one that's superwash is DK. Yeah, because that one's sport. This one's DK up here. So we'll be having some new weights and all that, and yeah. But anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. There ain't no telling what time it is. I know it's not morning anymore. But y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye.